Now, so Ayatollah Gumi amassed enough followers, and his teachings is that one day Nigeria will become an Islamic state, Islamic Republic of Nigeria. So when you look at Gumi today, and indeed, there were other terrorists, local terrorists at the time that have their own, that drawn, or should I say, they drew their inspiration from Ayatollah Gumi. Now you have Sheikh Osama bin Gumi, the son, who is everywhere, untouchable, right? Controversial all through and through. Is controversial left, right, and center, like his father. He was also in the military, by the way. Gumi was in the military, and he got honorably discharged. That's what his record said, right? His own son is now in the military, who is expected for maybe the coming generation, if this contraption still remains, right? The coming generation would have to deal with his own sons too. That would be unfair. Seriously, it would be unfair.
Hold on, come. This one.
Pastor, pastor. Àwọn ọmọjọ sticker ló ń ṣọ́ wa. Àṣé kò rí pé orí wa ti burú. Ìwọ má dira o, ìpápá ẹ̀dá rin. Jẹ́ kí wọ́n báàbù tó ń jẹ. Kò jẹ́ gbèsè àgbẹ̀tọ̀ àbí kò gbẹ́rì tí kò gbé tí a fẹ́ jókòó jẹ̀ rà. Gbẹ́rì tí bá yọ píù. Àwòyí àárín. Mo mọ̀ ní pé wà nínú báàbù pé ìgbà tó fẹ́ mú Jésù. Jésù kọjá ní àárín òun ògèrí Jésù. Kí ni Jésù lò? Àfẹ́ rí ló lò. Ìwọ má dira, ayé bàjẹ́.
Dira. And Dira in this sense means that you open your two eyes clearly, your two ears sharply, and be very much self-aware of your own surrounding. Information is life, right? You may have all the security and everything, without good information, they are nothing in this day and time. Sure, you know. So when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to life in prison, a joke taken too far, and he was sentenced to Sokoto, to the Caliphate. Somehow, it looked like a poetic justice, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is facing this particular persecution in Nigeria simply because he challenged, or he dared to expose what should never have been a mainstream thing, the jihad that we are now facing across Nigeria today. So his expose, those who were after him were no other than the Caliphate, sending him to Sokoto because of his own utterances, with no iota of evidence, witnesses that said, oh, Nnamdi Kanu did this to me, or Nnamdi Kanu ordered me to do this or that. A shamble. Well, just like a shining star, a northern star, or should we call this one the eastern sun, Yeah, the eastern sun, it will always rise. And sometimes, for those who have encountered Nnamdi Kanu in the course of these 10 years, over 10 years persecution of Nnamdi Kanu, those who have come across him have said he is such an extraordinary man that if you were in his presence, right, you would experience this level of, living, or level of being alive, like you are around somebody who is like a light, somebody that is in the room, and you can feel that level of, aura or something. Like you can tell that this person is different. They've all come out to say it. In prison, in different kind of dungeon, they've locked him, and those who have seen him, spent time with him, and left, they left with Baba, with a lifetime, so to say, memory that they've been sharing. For those of you who have been listening, so if their plan was to send Nnamdi Kanu to them in Sokoto so that the caliphate could have a big laugh, well, it seems like they are not really laughing now, because indirectly, it has been reported that since the arrival of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in that their Sokoto prison, even Sokoto state, including the town where he is currently being locked up, have received the surge in what they can tell that somebody is probably in this state or somewhere in this town, right? As they have been receiving odds and odds of visitors after visitors from their own, political stopover airports, that's now receiving more commercial flight that most of them are coming in that we may never really know them. They are coming to see Nnamdi Kanu. And that's one thing about prison, different from the DSS, dungeon, is that if they have to follow their own prison rules, okay, it simply means it will be receiving visitors. Now, it's not just receiving just personal visitors. He is also receiving your political visitors, including the government officials of Sokoto State. So one man that has received a serious backlash, one of them, those who have received serious backlashes for how they allowed Nigeria, okay, to persecute Nnamdi Kanu this far, that they did not do anything, is Alex Otti of Abia. Alex Otti kept saying that they are working behind the scene. They are trying to get the political solutions. They are trying to get him off the hook, the blah, the blah, the blah. And for the first time in about 2-3 weeks, Alex Otti was spotted at their Sokoto prison today, briefly. Initially, people said, oh, where was he? Like, he wasn't physically seen, but his convoy was spotted. And not just his, even that of some government officials from Sokoto. Is brief, but trust, there will be more from where that came from. So let's record this as it was posted by Mazi, Nnamdi Kanu's brother, who captured the moment briefly. And Alex has him kind of like repeated that,
Yes. You can try. Try. Yes. You can try. Try.
Yeah. So it's been reported that they have been having more and more visitors in Sokoto State, especially the state capital, as well. They are now getting people booking their hotels because Nnamdi Kanu is in the area. So we don't know what this may trigger, especially the positive side of him, because he is not being kept among other prisoners, because according to them, they do not want anything to happen to him. They do not want anybody to harm him. So he's going to have his own private place and the rest, while he will pursue his own appeal. That in itself is also considered as, another means of persecuting him and ensuring that being able to file his own appeal will require, so far, it will require his personal presence, right? So the shuttling from Sokoto to Abuja, where his own case is, right, will be so really, really like difficult, time consuming, and money gulping as well. So sending him to Sokoto in the first place is because they don't really want him to find it easy in fighting back the illegal sentencing. But again, as long as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is alive, right, it will remain that what we call the dog. I'm sorry, the bone that is tied to the neck of the dog. No matter how fancy it is to them for their own supper or dinner, right, it will remain elusive to them. Sure, you get. So, like I said, might have looked like poetic justice, but at the same time, it is also significant because, what the Fulani Caliphate, their sponsor, and the rest of those behind the scene pushing them, what they dread most is Nnamdi Kanu. I have no idea why, because Nnamdi Kanu did not say he is going to go and take over Caliphate of Sokoto, or the IPOB or the Biafrans are going to take over, the Kanemi of Borno or anything. So what made them so dreadful of pain? Like they dread him so much that they dropped him next to their door. So what do you think they would do to him? Maybe nothing, because they better not anyway. So somewhere, if I hang on, I'll take this one as my own short break. Okay, it was Omoyele Sowore who was addressing the members of his AAC at their supposed national convention, and he's been re-elected, by the way, as the national chairman of AAC Sowore. So it was sharing the experience of 2019 when Amechi and others attempted to hijack his party, Showore's party, right? Even though some of you will say like Sowore is Amechi's tool or something. That's why you should listen to this. I will be back in a minute. No, not a minute. After this.
AAC, take it back. At this point in time, I'll take the microphone back to the chairman of the party to officially dissolve this SO. And immediately that SO is dissolved, the CPC chairman takes over that seat and conducts the protocol for the convention, election convention of the party. The Commissioner.
We are very sad to leave. And this is the most painful part of today's event. As they say in Nigeria, to use your hand to dissolve yourself. But everything that has a beginning must have an end. And the tenure of the ESCO here, the National Working Committee of the AAC, that started in 2018, rejuvenated in 2022 because of the lawsuit, has come to an end. But let me explain one thing to you. All right. So, that's why I always walk around with a lawyer. So, I want to say something quickly. That you must ask yourself, why did we stay this long in the ESCO of AAC? We started the ESCO in 2018 and had a convention around what time? October 6, 2018. We went for election February 2019. I returned to the US for the first time. I was on a plane when it was announced that the ESCO had been dissolved on TV, live. And before we could say Jack Robinson, a judge in Abuja also followed up by granting an injunction against us, legal injunction. We tried everything we can. But we have good news. That judge, Justice Ekwo, is a judge that was suspended for a year. for corruption by the NGC recently. Such a judge should never even have come back to work. But you know Nigeria, when they come back, they might even promote him to the Court of Appeal. So that was the battle we fought from that 2019. And when I was arrested in 2019, the secretary who hijacked the party went and had an illegal convention in Sowore. I was in detention. And they announced themselves, true people are not members of the party, that they are taking over the party with AAC. Let me shock you. When they will now get a secretariat in Abuja, they went and rented a secretariat inside the army barrack in Abuja, so that you cannot even enter your own party secretariat. But with the help of our amazing lawyer, we defeated them in the Court of Appeal, and hence took back the party since 20. He still went back to court. He wanted the Federal High Court to reverse the decision of the Court of Appeal, and the judge rejected it. He's still owing us. He's owing us about 700,000 naira. If you find him, they must collect the money from him. So that is what makes our tenure to start again in 2022. So technically, our tenure expires in this year, and we were informed by INEC, and we will inform INEC that we will have a convention. We started with the state congresses, and now we are here with the convention, and this ESCO is going to come to an end. But it will not until one thing happens. Somebody must move a motion for the dissolution of the ESCO, and it must be seconded, and then we will announce with tears that we are leaving. Thank you very much. So please, if you want to move a motion for...
Call for motion.
You guys can't even wait.
A delegate must move the motion. It has to be a delegate. Please, when you are moving the motion, state your name, state, and the office you hold.
AAC! 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 My name is Robert Agina. I'm the chairman of FCT, African Action Congress. I'm the Robert Agina. Chairman, African Action Congress, FCT chapter. So I'm moving a motion for our for the dissolution of the National Working Committee. Even though they have done so marvelous for us, there is need for them to take a rest for other people to also emerge and let's.
Thank you so much. Who second that motion?
Second that, please.
Senator Uba. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tayo Adele, the AAC New State Chapter Chairman. So I seconded the motion to dissolve the current NWC of African Action Congress. This convention of 2025. Comrades,
So that's Sowore's party and their own convention, where Sowore has been elected again as their national chairman, as well as other executives of their party. So we don't know if Sowore is going to run again in 2027. He's obviously probably going to anyway. And yeah, you see how that goes. So yeah, for those of you who wants to participate in their election, in their politics, and you are looking for the people who have no direct connection to these money bags, right? Something different, right? You can give them a shot. So meanwhile, I'm going to stop I'm going to make a quick stop at Bright. Sorry, I like to call him Bright Till Bright. Anyway, sure you get. So yeah, Officer Bright and his recent expose on the young people called the HK, also Kingdom, where young people have been recruited to work as internet fraudsters. And if they fail to attract any clients that pays, yeah, they will be caned, like beaten, with all these marks on their, like, the bruises, right? I'll show you. Then we'll go back to politics after that again.
I am SP Dafe Bright, and this is Delta State